a problem, with black people, like not too hardcore extent, but like in the back of her mind, like would have like an issue with black people, like being raised, by like a white family, like.
What do you think?
Well, I would say yeah, without question. Like that's just the way I think, like because your whole life you've been pretty much shown and knowing that, your perspective is going to be like pretty much like white people are the way.
Exactly.
Like they raised me, they taught me everything. Black people my own father is black and he's not involved in my life. Like I don't want to date a black guy. Like that's just the way I think she viewed it. Like that's kind of what I think was going through her mind.
Yeah, and then the other thing I want to throw in there too, bro, when girls date you, they're considering possibly marrying you in the future. That's a big deal, man. Like, imagine dating somebody for 2 years and the question of marriage not coming up. It comes up, especially the longer you get into dating. It just does. It's a natural thing. It's like, oh, I've been with this person for a long time, and the only next step I see is going towards is getting married. Like, that's a reality, bro. And then you've heard girls, too. Like, I don't know if you've heard girls say, like, oh, I knew when we first started dating and I got to know him, I wanted to have his children. You've heard bitches say that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they say that shit. Because they think ahead. Like, oh, what could our life be like? How would my family like it? Like, where would we live? What would our children look like? Like, girls are running through that shit when they date you. And so if there's a lot of, like, things that are complicated in that process, it's going to be hard for them to trust you. It just makes sense, bro. It really does, bro. And the thing is, just try not to get too angry with these chicks, man, because, it will fucking drive you crazy, bro. Because you'll never be able to pinpoint the issue of, like, why they're just being bougie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And even with me, bro, the only reason why I'm not, like, super, super complaining, because, like, I'm, like, super persistent with going after chicks. Like on a irrationally passionate level. You know what I mean? Like, I approach chicks. I'm going out at least 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Like, keep the assembly line going.
The momentum.
Yeah. Oh, because seriously, there's been times, bro, like, I haven't gone out, and I get so depressed if there's not girls around, because I think, like, fuck. Like, I need to refill this, this can, because it might empty out quickly, and I just fucking hate it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, yeah, man, just try not to get too angry, bro, because it is very, it will just make you psycho, bro. You know what I mean? Especially if you just think about it too long, like, you just have to accept the fact that, there's a lot of things that are outside of your control, and, you can only really control what you surround yourself with, and the value you bring to somebody else's life, that's all the other things you control. I mean, the way they see you, the way their family reacts to you, the way their friends react to you, you can't control that, and it's sucky. But that's just the reality, dog. And that's really ugly. You know what I mean? But that's just the truth. You know what I mean? That's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth. And the thing is, if they're gonna date you, bro, like I said, man, their family and friends' opinions matter. And the thing is, if their family and friends' opinions are negative towards you, it's not worth it. It's better to date the scrawny little white boy who's safe, who their friends and family don't have any problems with or don't have any possible issues with. And it's a smooth sail. It's just easy. It's easier. It's a path to least resistance. So, but like I said, man, I think there's ways to get around race. Well, like I said, if you wake up tomorrow and you say, hey, I want to be a casting director for video chicks, you'll get them. It might take 2 years, might take 3 years. You'll get them because you'll be around chicks like that all the time.
Yeah.
On a smaller level. I think that transcends race. I think what else transcends race? Vacation. People are not in the analyze, is this dude right for my life? Am I going to consider dating him mode? And so I think when people are in that mode, it's more about how the person looks and if they're sexually capable and all that cool stuff. The cars, the dressing, I think that all that really matters. Because it's short term. It's not like, is this dude going to like meet my grandma and go to her birthday party? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that transcends race. I think another thing that transcends race, anybody who's coming from a really fucked up family or somebody who's like less socially connected because they have less people to interact with, and there's less expectations towards the type of person they need to bring into that circle. You know what I mean? If they came to America by themselves at 19 with no friends, and they had to like start their life at 19 and you met them at 20, I think that's a way easier person to convince than the 20-year-old who's the university, captain cheerleader. Captain cheerleader. It's just an easier game because that 19-year-old came to America with nobody, and you met her at 20. She's just easier to influence. She has less people to run her whole dating life by. And I don't know if you've heard too, like, I don't know if you have homies in LA or you know people in LA that like date really hot chicks when they first come to LA. I don't know if you've heard of that. Like, there's a lot of guys that get in with chicks when they first move to LA. Because when they first move to LA, they don't know anybody. They have no friends.
Yeah.
They have no social circle. They don't have anybody. So it's easier to convince that person. I think that transcends race.
Yeah.
It does. It does. I think that the farther a girl gets away from her family, the more crumbled her family gets, the easier it is to influence her and to date her. That's why I sound super manipulative, but I've seen it. Like the Japanese chick who came to eat, she's been in America. The only one in. She has a horrible relationship with her family. In Japan, because she has a big butt, people think she's ugly in Japan. So she's always wanted to come to America because she felt people would accept her more in America. She wants to date me. I'm dark. What does that say? You know what I'm saying? What does that say? And I've seen that example so many times. The white chick who I was banging last year, who was bomb as fuck. She ran away from her parents' house at 19. I met her when she was 20. She was living with a roommate in Anaheim. And she was, what was she doing? She was doing some retail job. She wanted to date me. She was white. She was bomb. This other chick I was banging like 3 or 4 months ago. Her mom and dad got in a car crash. She's being raised by her aunt. Her aunt has like a horrible relationship with the rest of her family. They don't really talk to the rest of their family. Her only family lives in California. She like barely finished high school. So she has like on top of that low self-esteem. So she just wants to go to the army. She wanted to date me. I mean, it's funny when I think about these bitches, bro, that actually want to date me and not just bang. You see these similarities, bro. It's so fucking funny. And when I talk to my brother about this shit, we think about it. We're like, fuck. This shit makes sense, dude. This shit makes fucking sense. There's a trend.
Yeah.
You know, it's a trend. You know, and so you can get in like that. If you find some badass bitch that you really want to date and you feel like she has a really fucked up family situation, we'll go in. I'll keep going on the kill with that. No, for real.
Wow.
For real.
That's some real ass shit.
That's some real ass shit. And you know what's funny too, man, is like, I think with like really, really bad bitches, with like 8s, 9s, and 10s, I think it's a little bit of the same situation too, because normal bitches don't like hanging out with them because they get jealous. And so, like, they can only hang out with like certain people, and that makes their group smaller. And they have less people to please, you know, as far as friends. I don't know about family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I've noticed that. And they don't really have many guy friends either because guys are always trying to bang them. So they don't really trust guys. You know, and they end up hanging out alone. I don't know if you noticed that, like, a lot of really hot chicks, they don't really, like, have a lot of friends. It's crazy. You know? So that's why I think, you know, you can still get in with, like, a really hot chick. They probably won't have, like, a lot of friends.
Yeah.
You know, and if they do, it's like a small group. I don't know if you noticed, too, like, a lot of bad bitches, they only hang out with bad bitches. They don't hang out with, like, average chicks. You notice that? I've noticed that.
They don't.
They don't. They're always, like, in their own group. You know, so I think you can get in there, you know, easy. So, the thing is, man, these little average chicks, man, don't get too frustrated, bro. No. Just don't get frustrated. And I know that girl's living in Colorado and shit. It's probably, like, devastating, you know what I mean? Because it's like, fuck.
It's today.
Damn.
It's the last day, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hit her up yesterday, man. Like, I wanted to see her before she left, you know, and, you know, she just was making these little excuses, you know, I gotta stay with my family. I'm like, you've been with your family. I mean, we've been out of school for like 2 weeks, you know, like how much, I mean, I respect it. I wasn't like, you know, saying family, you know, like, yeah, I want to stay with family, then my boyfriend. I'm like, you just met this dude like 2 weeks ago, and he's your boyfriend. It's official. Like, come on now, you know. But it's whatever, man. You know, it was very tough. You know, like I'm still having a little bit of a hard time getting over it, but you know, like you said, you know, just gotta, you know, push it aside, man, and move on. You know, and understand it for what it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
You know,
it's not your fault. It's not.
Yeah.
Try to really get that, man. It's not your fault. It's not because what you did made her not like you. It's not, man. It's not. It's her situation. You just weren't right for her situation. That's it. You're not inadequate. It's not that you're ugly. It's none of those things. It's not because you're not muscular enough or tall enough. It's just she has a specific situation that works for a specific person. It just didn't work for you. That's it. You're not less of a dude. And I know that's hard to see, bro. You know what I mean? Because it's like, fuck. It's chick, like, I cared about her, like, I took her seriously. I didn't want it to be something where, like, I wanted her to, like, take me seriously, too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I had feelings for her. It wasn't just some, like, side chick, you know? But, you know, like I said, man, you know, there's just stuff, like, that's just out of your control, and it fucking sucks. Especially if it's negative. You know, God can't control that. You know, you can't control people's thoughts. You just can't do it. If that's how they feel, that's how they feel. Like, that's just how it is. You know, you just, like, and I know it sucks, man, because, like I said, man, there's been situations, too, where, like, girls have told me, like, you're a really cool guy. I just would never date you. I mean, do you know how fucking, like, horrible that is to say?
Wow.
Like, that's fucking horrible, man. You're a good guy, but I would never date you? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, dude, it's just, like, it's crazy, man. Like, that's fucking crazy. You know, so, don't sweat it, man. Just don't. Because you could read every book. You could have the perfect body, the perfect style, perfect car, perfect house. You cannot change the way you think about you. You can't. You can't. They have a set idea of what they think is right for their life. You're just not involved in it. That's it. That is it. You know, and it's not like, oh, you know, that's her loss. She lost out. It's just like a preference for her. She wants to stay a scrawny white dude that she just met 2 weeks ago. And that's safe for her situation. More power to her. That's her choice. You cannot control that. I mean, you can't. You can be, like I said, best body, best face, best car, best career, best house. You can't control it. You cannot. So if you can't control it, there's no point in sweating it. And I know that sucks, man. Trust me, I understand. I really do, seriously. Because it's frustrating. It's very frustrating. It's very annoying. Especially if you see somebody who you know you should be with. You know you deserve you should be with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I get that, man. And it happens to me all the time, too. I mean, I'll be talking to some chick, it will just go south, and then I find out the guy she's talking to is like, he's a loser. He's lame. You know, I mean, you just can't do anything about that, man. You can't. You know, the only thing you can do, like I said, is, you know, if you wake up tomorrow and you say, I want to be a casting director for video models, that changes the game. You move to a vacation spot, Miami, Vegas, that changes the game. It does. It does, because everybody who's visiting those places are not in a date mode. They're not in, oh, I'm trying to find the perfect partner for my life mode. It changes the game. So, you know, those are the only things you can control, man. That's it. Or, like I said, too, if you find somebody who's, like, coming from, like, a really screwed up family, or they just, like, have a really small circle.
So you don't believe, like, there's, like, nothing that can be done? Like, you can't, like, change people's opinions?
I don't think you can. I think people know who they're going to be. They know ahead of time. I don't think you can. I mean, maybe you can, like, if you have interaction over time.
Do you think it's a certain age limit though? Like for like at the time? Do you think it changes as people progress in their age range?
I mean, it's funny, man. I do think it does kind of change a little bit because
people take things more serious, and people, when you're younger, you can't really see things and understand them as you would, as let's just say now. I'm pretty sure, like the way you think and the way you observe. I mean, I already know that for a fact. With me, like, I wouldn't have seen it when I was 18 or 19. I wouldn't have seen what I see now.
Yeah. But I think one thing that is universal is that when you decide to date somebody, and the longer you do date them, you do consider marrying them. I think that's a universal fact. And the thing is, I think when you're considering marrying somebody, or considering getting engaged, or considering being with this person for a long period of time, you do have to consider your family, friends, and other people around you's opinion. That's just universal. You can't avoid that. That's a thing that you have to deal with, especially if you're bringing other people into your family. You can't avoid it. You can't. Your relationship life, I don't think is separate. And if it is, it's not very much separate from your family life. I think they're just small extensions of each other. I truly believe in that. Because you see so many situations where something happens in a relationship and it affects a family. Like, me and Jimmy had a falling out. Can I stay at your house? Can I have some money? What do you think I should do in this situation? Oh, Jimmy, he hit my daughter. Dad, what do you think I should do about the situation? You get involved. See that? You know what I mean? So it's like, I do think that at different points in life, people can make their own decisions, but I think it's something people always have to consider their family when they date somebody. I think they do. And I just think that's a universal.
Unless of course you said like they come from a fucked up situation.
They come from a fucked up situation.
They don't consider.
Because they're only basing everything on their decision. That's it. Some girl who comes from Brazil at 20 years old to America, moves to Miami, and she decides to get into a relationship with you. She doesn't have to run shit by her family. Nothing. And so there's a lower standard to what you need to do to just get in the door to get her. It's a lower standard. And like I said, there's a lower standard for the girl who moves from Brazil to Miami at 20 years old rather than the captain cheerleader of the university football team. It's just easier. It's so much easier to get the 20-year-old who just moved to Miami. It's just easier. She doesn't have family here. Or the actress or the video model who moved to LA this past 2 or 3 months. It's just easier. She's not connected in LA. She doesn't have friends in LA. Her family's not in LA. She doesn't have to run this whole analysis of you to see if you're the perfect candidate for marriage. She has low self-esteem because she feels like she has to take care of herself now, and she doesn't really feel as confident about her decisions because her family's not around.
Yeah.
It's just an easier situation to seduce that person.
Mm-hmm.
So much easier. It's just easy.
Yeah.
And I think that's an in too. Like if you could probably meet some like hot ass chick who just moved to LA, and you probably date her. Easy. I think you have to get her quick.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what you're saying too. Remember how you were saying like, oh, dude, You know, there's some 19-year-olds where, you know, you have to get them before they have ego.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the same situation.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, man. And it's funny, too, man, because I've looked at a lot of the girls who wanted to date me and the girls who wanted to fuck me. And, you know, you just see all this shit after you see all these bitches, man. It's just the same type of bitch, just in a different race, in a different body.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's so crazy, bro. It's so wild. Yeah, man, because I've looked at a lot of girls like fuck, man, and they come from, like, really fucked up families. And my brother pointed it out, and I was like, he's like, bro, like, these girls don't come from good families, and they want to date you. There has to be something. And then it clicked. I was like, yo, they're open to date me because they would typically do something they wouldn't do if their family was around. That's why they want to date me. Because I'm black.
Wow.
Yeah, that's true. And the thing is, to be honest with you, bro, I really don't have an issue with it. Because I'd rather date some chick and she doesn't have to talk to her family every day.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I'd rather do that than, like, having a situation where I'm dating a chick. I gotta go to grandma's for dinner. I gotta go to family functions. You know what I'm saying?
Family functions.
No, but I'm serious. And then you gotta meet little Jimmy and Tommy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Little brother, big brother.
And they gotta be cool with you. You don't say anything too inappropriate. Like, I'm not even really with that. I'd rather it be just me and her.
Yeah.
You know?
That's so crazy, man.
It's wild, bro.
This is true.
It's so fucking true. It's so true. I bet you if you looked at some of the girls you fuck, they probably come from really screwed up families. I put money on it.
Yeah.
The ones that wanted to date you, they probably come from really fucked up families. I put money on it.
Yeah.
I put money on it.
Yeah.
Yes. And the thing is, if that's the truth, just target those bitches, like, for real. Just if that's the reality, target those bitches and don't really expect much else from other chicks. That's how I look at it.
That's true. That's crazy. I do. It's hard to see it now. Like, I do believe that, you know, it pretty much has to do with your situation, you know, because in my situation, what I'm going through, like, I can't really see myself with some girl who, you know, who lives on the top of the hill, you know.
Yeah.
Who got everything together and has everything handed and living a lavish lifestyle, you know, like, that wouldn't fly with me, you know, because it's not me. It's not who I am, you know. I don't relate to that, you know. Like, we might hook up, but there will be no connection, you know, so that does have a lot to do with it, you know. I can see that now. That does make sense. That's crazy.
It's crazy, man.
Wow. Wow. I never looked at it that way. That's a trip. Man.
It's wild, dude. I'm telling you, man. Like, you know, when you think about it, you just can't get mad at girls, man. Yeah, I don't anymore, at least. A year ago, I used to get super angry. You know, but I don't get mad anymore. I just don't. I can't do it. It's bigger than me. Way bigger than me. So, and I'm at peace with that. Because I know that's the truth. If that's the truth, I just accept it for what it is.
Yeah.
And I try to focus on areas where I think I can win.
Yeah.
That's all I can do. And the thing is, the areas I think I can win, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm completely okay with that. If there's some little scrawny white boy who beats me, I'm okay with that. I really am okay with that. I'm not going to get bitter. I'm not going to get jealous. I'm not going to, self-sabotage myself. I don't do that game. It's stupid. It's immature. A mature way is to look at the situation holistically, see why you think you could be losing, and see the reality of the situation, and then see where you think you can win and just focus on the winning situation.
You don't think there's anyone worth fighting for?
You know what?
I mean, not like physically, like mentally. I don't fight over girls.
Like going over a couple months trying to prove yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends, man. It's kind of like, you remember what you said earlier today, like, oh, you know, when we were at the hookah lounge, you're like, oh, dude, I don't know if it's worth my time to invest with these girls. Like, I don't want to go this year investing time with girls that end up going nowhere. You know what I mean? So I think it's something where, you know, I think it just depends on the girl and depends on, do you want to invest the time in it? You know, because, like, I mean, at least on your situation, you said you were frustrated when we go 2, 3, 4 months investing in some chick. You took her seriously. She didn't take you seriously. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I mean, but I don't know, man, because there's a part of me, too, that believes, like, girls who know who they want to date. I really believe in that. I don't think it's a very...
I mean, but I don't necessarily believe in love at first sight, man. Like, I mean, slightly, but I don't believe in that, you know.
Yeah. So you think you can build love for somebody over a period of time?
I think if you fight hard enough mentally, you know, you can win somebody over, you know.
Yeah.
You know, because like you said, you know, people are going to be judgmental and people are going to have their set thoughts on you.
Yeah.
But if you keep doing things to, like, show them that, you know, you're not just some guy that they thought you were, you know, they're eventually going to have to submit.
Yeah.
You know, just depends on how far you're willing to go.
Yeah. I mean, I think the only situation where that can happen, man, is like, you know, like you were saying about the art class, where you can prove yourself and you can get time to sell your personality over a longer period of time than you would at, like, a club setting or, like, a cool approach setting. You know, you come up at the bar, you come out at the club, you come up at the beach.
Yeah.
You just get more time, you know. And I do...
7 hours a day is, even a week. I mean, that's a long time. Like, in art, like, that's, like, pretty interactive.
And that's a long time to prove yourself.
Yeah.
You know, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think, unless you're doing something like that, you'll have any other opportunities to do something like that. You know, unless it's art class, unless it's casting agency talking to models for like 4 or 5 hours before Chris Brown comes, you know, every week. You know, whether it's you know, sitting with the model taking pictures for 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
You know, a couple of times a year. Yeah, man, I think you can win somebody over like that. But that's the whole transcending race thing I was talking about, like how that's the thing I think can transcend race when you are surrounding yourself with people that can get to know you over a period of time. And they can see more in you than just your skin color or what you think you're going to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, that's fair, too, man, because, you know, when you come at the club or you come at the bar, you could be anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you could be, like, a killer, you know, you could be in a game, like, they don't know what your friends look like. Like, it's kind of scary. You got to think about it on a girl's end.
Yeah. It's true, right?
It's true.
sometimes the perfect guy could be the crazy psycho. You know?
Crazy psycho.
The kidnapper.
Yeah.
You know.
So that's a big deal, man. You know,
I understand that, but you know, I didn't meet this girl in a club, man. Like, I met her at school, you know, and we had genuine talks, you know. We chilled with each other.
That's the thing. Because you met at school, you were given the opportunity to sell your personality.
Yeah.
And sell your character.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, like, you would have never gotten that opportunity in a club, bar, any type of situation. School brought you guys together in a setting.
Yeah.
Yeah? That's a special situation. Because I put money on it, if that girl was at the club and you were to approach her, she would have shut you down. Quick. Maybe you would have gotten a number, but I don't know if it would have, like, sustained itself the way the school situation did.
Sure.
Yeah.
Deep.
So deep, bro.
Wow. I have like a whole different perspective on women now, man. Like,
Sense.
Yeah.
It really makes sense. Like I said, man, until I started thinking about this, man, like I just was like so pissed off. I would come home like so angry, bro. And, like not even understand like why I was angry.
It kind of makes me like afraid, like to even like want to like go in on girls, like.
Why?
No, not go in, like let them know how I feel. You know, like I don't know.
No, but it's just like, bro, they I don't even think they're aware of it. To be honest with you, I don't think they are. I don't think it's something like they consciously think of. It's more of like, oh, this is not for me. This is so many years of talking to my family about it, social conditioning, and that's just not for me. Until you have like a serious heart-to-heart with them, and you like have them think about it. But I don't think they have the patience to do all that.
Well, this girl, man, like, I really don't know her situation, but I don't really think that it was, like, maybe partially his family, but, I mean, before she was even messing with this white dude, man, she was messing with a girl, man. She had a girlfriend in Compton, dude. Like, she drove, and she met her online. And she drove, and, she was lesbian for, like, a month or two, and, she was just, like, all over the place, like, very, like, weird.
Yeah.
You know, like, how do you go from dating a black girl in Compton to dating a white boy?
Yeah.
You know, like, so it's just, like, very confusing. I kind of, man, like, how does that work? I mean, I'm pretty sure her parents, that's why I don't really think it was necessarily, a family thing. I mean, partially, but I don't know.
Yeah. I wanted to throw something into, man, where I think you can win. And I think you can win big. Is that, me and my brother have talked about this pretty extensively. Is that, when you think about, even tonight, like, how, like, this girl was telling me tonight, like, oh, you need to buy us drinks for our time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And one thing I have noticed is, like, when you're dating somebody, the girl has all the power in that situation. It's always the guy has to prove himself to the girl, and then the girl makes the decision whether the guy's worthy or not. That's like the game. And there's not really a lot of leverage for guys to, like, have the one-up on girls. Unless the guy proves he has multiple options, and it makes the girl feel like, oh, maybe he has to compete for his attention. That gives the guy power. Or if the guy, and this is another, I think, a leverage point where I think a lot of guys have more power than girls. It's when they have sex with a girl and they don't want to date her beforehand. And I think there's more power there than not having sex with her and proving yourself to be worthy to date her. And I know that's kind of fucked up and kind of backwards, but if you think about it like this, who do you think you can convince a girl more to do what they want them to do as far as dating? Somebody who's had sex with her before they dated her, or even after they dated her? No, let's just say somebody who's had sex with her who hasn't dated her, or somebody who's in the process of dating her for 1 or 2 months and has never had sex with her.
Ooh. Well, yeah, that's not really a tough one. I mean, yeah, man. I mean,
The guy who's had sex with her.
Yeah.
And when you think about that, when you think about this whole dating game, you think that maybe it's just easier to have sex first than to try and date them first. Because there's just less power in that game. Why not try to create a short-term sexual connection and then suggest dating somebody, and not have sex with them at first, and then try to date them against racial boundaries, uphill streams with family, friends? It's easier. You know what I mean? It's just so much easier. Think about it. It makes so much sense.
Get all the odds out the way.
Yeah, it's so much sense. And that's, and you know, it's really funny, man. It's like, if you think about all the girls you've had sex with in your life, right? And like just, and I know there's different situations with, you know, how you went about having sex with them, you know, how quickly did it happen. But if you would have suggested dating those girls after you had sex with them, don't you think the possibility would have been extremely high?
Yeah.
Extremely high. Because you have more power in that situation.
That's true.
It's so true. And the thing is, like, if you were thinking about all the girls you had sex with, don't you think you could have, like, dated all of them? Probably, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing, dude. I think maybe it's smarter to play the game in reverse.
Yeah.
Try to have sex first, then date.
But I feel what you're saying, but at the same time, like, just because you do have sex with somebody, whether it's good or not, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're right for you. You know,
it could be
just because you have sex. I mean, sex isn't everything. You know.
But I do believe that it is a connection that dating can't.
To a certain extent, and it depends on where a person is. You know, sex can only take you so far. You know, like, you know, people have needs. You know, like, people can get to a point where it's just not about sex. You know, like, they can feel it for a while, and it's kind of like, okay, you think sex is good, but what else does this guy do for me?
Yeah.
You know, or what does she do for me?
Yeah, I totally agree.
You know.
I just think there's more power in it, though, than, like...
Well, it's a deep connection, man.
Yeah.
Literally.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
I mean,
I think it can transcend...
I can't count how many times that my homeboys have fucked girls, and then they just wanted to be their girlfriend the next day, or they were in love, literally said, I'm in love with you.
Yeah.
And they're just like, you know, no words at all, just like, yeah. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's a deep connection.
Yeah.
You know?
But I think, do you agree, though, that connection supersedes any connection dating can create? Because
I think you're partially right, but I think it's a bit of an illusion. You know, when you first get into it, you know, I mean, you're not really thinking properly. It's more of a feeling that overtakes you.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, wow, you know, like, you just get caught up in the moment, and like I said, you know, it overtakes you.
Yeah.
You know, where you think it could be something bigger than it really is.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you think you have more? I still think you have more convinced. You have more persuading power there after you've had sex than you're in that 1, 2, 3, 4 month period of proving yourself to a girl. Of course, every girl's different. A lot of girls will not have sex with you. That's another thing. You know, they'll only have sex with you if you're considering dating them. But I think, like, sex is a way to transcend race, because you can get somebody to think about you, like, not necessarily like in a logical way, more like, oh, he just fucked the shit out of me, and like I feel really good around it. You know what I mean? And that's like not really analyzing, like, oh, what are my family's gonna think? What's you know, my friends gonna think? That's just outside of the mind. You know what I mean? And I think that's a way to get. But I think that's a way to get in with somebody who typically would not like consider you as date material. I think that's a way to get in.
Oh yeah, most certainly.
Yeah, I think that's a way to get in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Or even too, like I think even dating somebody for like a couple of weeks and then sleeping with them and then continuing dating them. I think it's like still saying the same thing, but I think that's a way to get in too. I think sex has to be a part of it, though.
Yeah.
It does.
It's a deeper connection.
Yeah.
You know, you're on a mental level, and you feel like, you know, someone feels like you connect with them. You know, that's just half of the connection.
Yeah.
You know, the sex takes it to the next level.
Exactly.
You know, it completes it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
The thing is, too, I think that's, you know, because you know with me, dude, I always try to push the agenda for sex a lot. And the thing is, you know, me and my brother talked about this too. How like, you know, I think when girls are aroused, they don't think about you logically either. Or if they're sexually attracted to you, they don't think about you logically. Like, oh, it's right for my family, it's right for my friends. It's just more of like, I want to bang it. And I'm very sexually attracted to it. And I think that's something that's powerful that guys can use to control the situation. You know what I mean? I think that's a very powerful tool, man. You know, because you can get girls. I think you know, it's funny, man. There's this book, man, that was written. It had some, I forgot the title, but the book was talking about how women have orgasms. There's been incidences when women have been raped, and they've come into the hospital and reported the fact that they have had an orgasm while they've gotten raped. And the situation is not the point. The point is that girls, I don't think girls either can control their bodies when they are aroused. Because if a girl's getting raped, and when you're getting raped, it's something you don't enjoy at all, mentally. And I think even physically, too. But your body still gets off to it. That proves the point that girls don't really have control of their sexual arousal. You think about it on a deep level. And when you think about that, if that's the case, I don't think girls, when you do try to get them aroused, they're not going to think about you logically. Their body is just going to respond to you. It's not going to be this, like, up in the head thing, like, oh, you know, where do I see my kids with this man? will he be able to fight World War babies with him? You know what I'm saying?
That's funny. The body's gonna respond with you. The body's gonna have its way with you.
Yeah, it does. And I don't know if even too, like, certain times, like, you talk to chicks and like they could be the dumbest doorknobs, but like you just physically want them and you know they're not even right for you, but you just physically want them to the point where you don't even really think about anything logically when it comes to them. And I think that's a powerful way to get in with chicks. I think that's a really powerful way to get in, especially if they see you sexually, whether it's with your shirt off or like talking about sexual shit, or like you telling them, yeah, you want to move them to the back. You know what I mean? I think that gets them, non-logical, like thought process. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, the thing is, like, if I come up to a chick and I'm like, hey, I got this, I have a Ferrari at a beach home in Spain. You know what I'm saying? I go to vacation and ski in Switzerland. That's a logical, like, thing that she has to think about. Like, those sound like really fun things. Like, where could I bring my friends along? Like, how much money would it take for me to get involved? Like, where would I need to live to become part of all of this? Do I have to, like, take away things in my life to have that too? But, when you tell someone, like, I want to get aggressive with you, I want to put you into submission, and, I want to give it to you like I hate you, that's an animalistic, like, drive. No, for real. I know it sounds crazy, bro, but it's just like, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It does.
It does.
And even too, like, before, like, humans had, like, language and shit, we were just going off of, like, our animalistic impulses. There wasn't language, but we were still doing things, having sex, eating. These are very, like, animalistic drives, and I don't think those are, like, logical, like, things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think when girls get in that mode, I don't think they consider race as much. That's what I'm thinking. I thought about every bitch I fucked, man. Like, I could have dated them, and they would have considered me, bro. They would have dated me. Like, easy. Like, easy. Like, just so easy, bro. Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah, and I didn't really think about it in the midst of it, because, when you're just fucking bitches, like, and especially if you're like, I just want to bang you mode, then you're not thinking about, like, do I want to eat this drip? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're just trying to get in with the D and do the D.
For real.
Yeah, man. But yeah, man. I think that's a way in. That whole sexual shit. It's like I said, man. If a girl's having an orgasm while she gets raped, she doesn't have control of her body. She doesn't. Think about how crazy that is, man. Think about like a 17, 18-year-old girl, 30-year-old man raping her, forcing her against her will to have sex. The girl hates the experience up here.
Yeah.
Thinks it's traumatic. But she fucking comes. Multiple times. Does that even make sense to you? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Because with guys, man, I think if an 18-year-old dude were to get raped by a 30-year-old man, I think he would mentally check out. Like, I don't think there's like this guy's fucking me in my asshole, I enjoy this, and I'm crying. And I'm, like, yelling. I don't think that works with dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, you know, when you think about that, bro, I don't think, I don't think girls really have control of being aroused. You know, I don't think they have control over that. I've seen bitches, man, like, you know, you remember I was saying, like, how sometimes I'll text girls and I'll be like, hey, you know, like, you're a really nice person. I totally mean that. Even though I'm trying to get in your pants, right?
Yeah.
And, like, I'll have girls, like, literally text me, like, oh, you know, that's great, but I'll never do that with you. And, like, oh, like, I'll be honest with you, like, you're a really cool guy and everything, but I just wouldn't do that with you, right? But she still talks to me. And, you know, when you think about that, it's like, you're down. I just told you I'm going to try to fuck you. And you have not blown me off. And you still want to hang out and talk. Like, your body's talking. Your mind's not talking. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. You know what I mean? I texted this girl I met. You know that white... I forgot to say.
Yeah.
You know that white chick girl at the party on Tuesday? The hot one. The white one.
Did you get to know?
No, she texted me, dude. Just out of the blue. She was like, oh, Merry Christmas. And I was like, hey.
Wait, slow down. What are you talking about? Your African homeboy, right?
Your African homeboy, the white chick.
Yeah.
The homeboy. Dude, she just texted me. She was like, oh, Merry Christmas. And I'm like, hey, Merry Christmas. Hey, you know, who's this? And she's like, oh, this is Lena Provost from Simba's party. And I was like, initially I thought it was some chick at the club I met. Yeah, and so, like, I was like, I had to ask her Facebook because I didn't know who it was. And so I was like, hey, you know, who's this? And she's like, oh, it's Selena. And I was like, and she's like, oh, I thought this was Adam's number. Adam Johnson's number. And I'm like, you're clearly lying. Like what? How could you get my number confused with some random dude's number from Las Vegas? You know, and I of course, like, I'm not gonna get fazed by it because, like, it's deliberate. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, man, she just hit me up, dude. And then I told her, I was like, hey, you know, like, the time I saw you at the party, you were really cute, and, you know, if Simba's mom wasn't there, I totally would have just, like, taken you upstairs and just banged you. And she was just like, oh, you know, it's really great that you're honest with that, and you seem like a really comfortable and chill guy, but I would never do that. But it's just funny because, like, we continue texting, right, for like 30 minutes, and then I'm like, hey, you know, we should definitely, you know, hang out this weekend, and, you know, I will introduce you to my friends. You know, your friends can come and hang out with my friends. You know, and she's like, oh, yeah, like, I'll let you know, and I'm not really too sure, but she, like, still talks to me. You know, even after I told her, like, I'm trying to bang her. You know what I mean? And, like, most bitches will cut you off at that point. Like, it's just, like, it's done. It's over.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, I just don't think girls have control of their bodies, man.
Yeah.
You know?
It's true that, it's funny you said that because, like, it's, some girls, they don't really know how to take it, you know?
Yeah.
Because in their mind, they're thinking about the things you're going to do to them.
Yeah.
You know, like, I want to have my way with your body, you know. I want to beat that pussy up, you know. They're just like, you know, of course they're going to be like, ew, you're nasty, you're dirty. But at the same time, like, in the mind, they're like, you know, like, wow, like, he's going to do some things to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they're imagining it, you know, they're thinking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
At the same time.
Exactly.
You know, flowing through their mind. After all, yeah, my boys do it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a mind game.
Yeah, it is, dude. And I think, and it's funny because when all that shit's going on, there's never the conversation of, like, oh, he's black. You know, he's not right for me.
Yeah.
You know, his family, my mom said to not date black guys, and he's black.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, my friends have had bad experiences with black people.
Yeah.
You know, that really bothers me. None of those conversations happen when girls get in that mode of thinking about, oh, what is he going to do to me? If I hang out with this guy, he might try to fuck me. You know, when it's always on fucking, it just like the race thing just leaves the building. It's like, is he gonna fuck me and am I down with it? That's it. That's it.